Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we're going to do a quick sketch of Modok. So Modok is a supervillain from the Marvel universe, and so what we're aiming for is a huge head, so we could just put an oval right out. Although most of the shape will be straight from the sides, and we will see why in a second. If in case you do not know Modok, we will also give a brief introduction of what this guy is all about. So he's more head than body. So what we have is small hands, and very small feet. You could put those right here. So it's looking funny at the moment, but the way certain character traits came around made it more grotesque and imposingly dangerous than funny. So we can leave an oval on the top because that is his hair, but the remainder of it is encased in this cybernetic shell. So we have to put a shell around, kind of like that. And all the details will keep coming in because he has this thruster underneath that. I know that's also funny, but the thruster that keeps him afloat. I do not know if the later incarnations of the character had a different mode of flight, because he flies, he can't walk, apparently, supporting all that weight. So apparently he was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. So I'm not sure if Stan Lee thought of the character first. By the way, there's a headband right here with this energy casing that always has energy sort of coming out of it. And then right here will be his eyes, and artists have depicted him like differently sometimes, actually most of the times, but he's recognizable immediately because of his extended proportions, I guess. And we will put in that cruel wide smile. There's a lot of other characters, and we'll put in a set of teeth like that. So there's a lot of other characters which are like Modok, but it's what we say. It's they're not as famous. So Modok's his alter ego is George Talton. So he was a scientist that was primarily hired by, not hired, or he was working with AIM, the organization that is also an organization of evil scientists, apparently. And due to an experiment that either went wrong or it was intended, that piece of history I am not exactly clear about. So if you are interested in the character, you could check it out. He was transformed into this being with this oversized head. So George Talton, again, always leaned toward the bad side, and he used this scientific prowess and knowledge to do bad initially he was first used as a villain for the Captain America series of books in the 60s. And later on, we saw him in his animated outings against Spider-Man, against the Hulk, and at times even against the Avengers. So what we're doing is we're putting in there's some treads under the boots right there, which we can put in. And this is again a quick sketch, so we're not going into all the details necessarily, or highlighting the more subtle aspects of Modok's armor, except that certain key features, such as that energy casing or apparatus, is important. Eyes, so again the eyes, I think the character looks menacing when the red eyeballs are used, but he has some sort of effect and cast that immediate impression of being a bad guy, aside from his extended head with the whites of his eyes. So they also look equally evil, but again not as menacing and realistic as his red, when they draw him with red pupils in his eyes. So there's these facial features, so it sort of reminds me of the DC villain Darkseid, who has this stone face with all these cracks, and that's what we are trying to work here too, along with working some tones to fill out. Now there's no, since artists have handled Modok differently, there's no particular set of rules that you could follow except for this apparatus that cases him and supports. Apparently it supports this. It's like a life support system for him as well. So the scientists at AIM created this armor with some input from Modok himself, because again apparently Modok was more of a bad guy. Those are hints that have been given through different incarnations, through different versions and in published media. But there was a hint in a certain storyline that wanted to have the crowd, so the readers, empathize with the character and show that he was more a victim of the ongoings, and his heart was in the right place in terms of dealing with science. So I have actually just put in the hair somewhat also in our own version here. It'll still hold true if you check out all the images on Google. You'll see that it's pretty much close to Modok's we're just putting in some tones here. Because this is all metal. And how much of a detail we wish to put in, it's all up to us. So we have the tones falling in on this side throughout, so hence the tone on the arms also leaning toward this side, toward the right hand side. So we're pretty much done. And of course we can always use the lighter pen just to put in some more crosshatch, perhaps around his face, so that it stands out even more. And yes, we almost forgot to put in the eyebrows. So the eyebrows, of course, in this case, like blending in to the with the rest of the setup here. So just some here will do, like that. So we are doing this in real time to just show that Modok can be a quick study when it comes to doing a quick sketch. So for that Modok fan that wants you to create this quick sketch for him, just a marker with 1 or 2 pens will work for you. And we can also put in a little tint here, because in comics they tend to put in a tint going when they have to show some illumination on the hair, on the hairline. They just tend to fill it up and just come down so much to cast that effect of well kept hair. And Modok's is actually very smooth in most of the comic versions. So do check out the character if you haven't. Really fun to sketch for sure, but also a fun character that regular comic book monster of a character that we can go wild with and draw with certain variations and still have fun and make it accurate. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, keep in touch, have yourself a wonderful day.